Welcome back to another Oaklands video. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how I made a vending machine on Oaklands. And I've seen some on the Oakland Discord server, and honestly, they're very simple, and I like that. But the way I made this one is so that you can see the item before you buy it, and also two of them popped out. That's not supposed to happen. That's just because I had set the timing wrong. So I think the delay was set to 1 second. That was by accident. It was supposed to be set to 3 seconds. And after this, it honestly worked just fine. For this test, I then got onto my alt, and basically when you just buy it, it works great. So if you look at the chat, it also notifies you that, hey, the purchase has been completed and someone has bought the thing. And this is my one. I have no whitelist at all. You can see that it won't go in the thing. And if I then go onto my main account, I cannot pick it up, as you can see. So I cannot pick it up because it's not owned by me. It's owned by my alt. Both my main and my alt have similar names, but I can't pick it up. And a cool thing about this system is, because it's glass, you can actually click through glass, and if it gets stuck by any way, let's just say the game lagged and it didn't output it out, you can actually just drag it out even if you bought it. And this is just a fail safe so that it doesn't lag out when you have it doesn't basically scam you if the server is really laggy. That's the reason why I made it like this. I made it in a system where if, let's say, the item doesn't get output by the alignment conveyor, that's an alignment conveyor at the bottom and a filter conveyor at the top. If it doesn't get output, it will stay in there, but you can then just drag it out manually if you have to. And that's a really nice way to do it, so that the item will be there at all times. And I could have also made it so only when you, let's say, get only when you buy an item, or only when you donate to the system, or the donator thing, and let's say you buy from it, it then outputs the item, and then you have an ownership thing. The reason why I didn't do that is because of the difference in ping and lag. It can be problematic when you, let's say, try to buy something from someone else and they lag a lot, and so the logic will be much more slower, and you might not even get the item, and it's going to be very unpredictable, which is why I made it like this, where the item will be staying there, and if the item isn't there, then you can't buy it, because then that's just a fail safe. Basically, you can only buy the item if there's an item present, and if there is no item present, then you can't buy it. So now I'll be explaining how this system works. I'll be just moving away this system at the top. This just shows me here you can buy it. That's just some added stuff. You don't really need that. This is all the logic stuff you need. You're going to need a filter conveyor, an alignment conveyor, and one storage box and a donator. And here I'm going to basically set it up. So for this example, I'll just put that, and you can put any item. And after I put that in, the filter on the filter conveyor, I can then put all of this. The reason I put it with the filter conveyor is that so that people can't move stuff into the ownership thing, and maybe try to do stuff like that. So I don't want that. Then you can set your price, and every time you buy it, it will then start the trigger. And you want to make sure that there's one item there at all times. And as you can see, I can then drag this item out whenever I need to, and it will just go down there as well. So that's sweet. Now, the way this is all made is basically it restocks it based on when you buy it. I tried making a system where it only restocks it if there isn't an item there for longer than 3 seconds. It just didn't work out, which it's supposed to work out, but it didn't. So in this case, I just made it so it only restocks only after 3 seconds after someone buys it. And the alignment conveyor basically gives the item outwards. So it passes it through the glass automatically, so that you don't have to drag it out all the time. And it works practically like a vending machine. and I did put the glass there so that you can't just push the item out, so that the item inside there can always be safe. So now let me explain how it all works. So first order function is when you donate something, it will transfer the ownership of the item first. That's the first thing that we'll do, and that's the main priority of it. When there's an item there, it will transfer that ownership first. After that, what it will do is when you, let's say, like after you, like the ownership is done, it will then turn on the alignment conveyor, and it is like a very simple way to put it. I have a relay with its right input attached to a NOT gate, and the donator is attached to the NOT gate, and basically the relay will stay on, and it on the left input it is set to a number interface of 5, and the output of the relay goes to an interactor which is attached to the alignment conveyor. What happens is the alignment conveyor is turned off at a value of 5, will go to the left at a value of 0, and will go to the right at a value of 10. And so to keep it off all the time, you want to have put a NOT gate in between. That NOT gate will make sure that the relay stays on and that the alignment conveyor stays off. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is when the donator gets turned on, it will turn on the NOT gate. That means turning off the relay, and that will then turn on the alignment conveyor to then output the item. And then we need to then restock the item after 3 seconds. And to do that, what I basically did is when you output a signal of 10 to, let's say, an interactor attached to a storage crate, a storage drawer, I mean, it's there is a problem, because if you put 10 in the interactor, that means it will output 10 items. We don't want that. We want it to output only 1. To fix that, I put a calculator in between set to division, and I've set both of the inputs from the donator to both of the outputs from the donator to the inputs of the division calculator, and that basically turns whatever number you put into 1. And we want that so that only 1 item is output every single time you donate. And then we have a delay of 3 seconds just so that it doesn't trigger, or like it doesn't get output by the alignment conveyor. And that's about it. And every time I donate, as you can see, it will trigger the interactor after 3 seconds after I donated to restock the item, and that fills in the gap for a lag. So like there's no way this thing will lag. And all of this additional stuff I added is just like purely for just making it look really cool. I have I have a chat, I have a speaker which basically will tell me like, hey, this item sold every time someone donates to it. So every time someone tries to buy something, it will tell me in the chat that someone bought something. You can also probably make it when we can see, like, let's say like when we will be able to see like storage, like how much stuff is in the storage. We can make it detect like if the stock has run out. I think that will be really cool. So let's just say for now I'm like renaming it to like, for the wood, and then I can say like it's for $10, and that will it will show me that. So every time I buy this, as you can see on the top left on the chat, it will tell me that someone donated $10 and this thing has sold for that much. And honestly, that's about it. It's a pretty, I would say it's not super complicated. It's a very simple way of making it, but I wanted to make it so that 1, it doesn't clog, 2, it's safe for both parties, the buyer and the seller, so that the buyer can guarantee every single time that they will get the item and not just like hope that the item is there. I mean, people can still, do some really bad stuff with it, but Oaklands is much more of a trustful game, and you will also just get into trouble if you do like, scam people and that. So it's just a frowned upon thing, and I don't think anyone will be really doing that. But yeah, this is my take on a vending machine on Oaklands, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. One thing I will say, however, is that you should like test out and resize the alignment conveyor or the storage crate, storage drawer, or the filter conveyor as well, depending on what item you want to sell. Some bigger items will obviously need bigger like storage places, like for in this case the meteor and all this wood stuff fits in, but the gravity coil may not fit in as much, but it still works out. Just like it's pretty tight in there basically. And if you want to sell something like axes, you're gonna need a much more taller or just wider casing of it. And this is just basically just for the safety of your own item basically. So like people can move stuff around if like, you know, by using physics. So this is like safety for you, as well as it's safety for the buyer, so that it will make sure that they will get the item. And yeah, that's about it. Leave a comment if you guys want to see more like logic stuff like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.